What's up, everybody? GeauxBurns climbing back upon Mount Soapbox for another rant. And if you have a rant suggestion for a future episode, be it about Grand Theft Auto Online, Mafia, Red Dead, gaming in general, YouTube, you get the idea. As long as this hasn't been ranted about already by me, feel free and check the rant playlist just in case. You can send your rant suggestions my way, to me, not to anyone else, obviously. That wouldn't make much sense now, would it? But you can send your rant suggestions to me via the comment section, Twitter, or Facebook, all my social media, including Discord, linked below in the description section. So, it is Halloween weekend, one of my favorite times of year. I love October, I love the fall, and I like me some Halloween action. And for years and years, I have been asking Rockstar, and I have a feeling I'm not the only one that's asked them for this. I'm not the only one in the community that's been, emailing them and tweeting them, saying, Rockstar, hey, Halloween's coming up. Could you guys get us some Halloween costumes? Okay, so to Rockstar's credit, we have a ton of masks, right? We also have some Halloween-themed vehicles, including the brand new Vigilante. By the way, this rant includes a lot of stuff. It's a big rant. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Let's continue. The Vigilante, along with the Frankenstein, the Lurcher, the Sanctus motorcycle, Halloween-themed cars. By the way, all those vehicles are back for a limited time. I think they're 25% off. We've also got some Adversary Modes that are, I guess, Halloween-themed. Would it kill you to make us some costumes? I mean, I've been asking for it. Others have been asking for years. Since 2014 at least. That's how long I've been asking for 3 years now. And there's so many generic Halloween costumes you guys could use, like sexy costumes, silly costumes, nerdy costumes, scary costumes, like vampires, witches, let's see, naughty schoolgirls. I mean, the list goes on and on. I realize there's a ton of clothing in the game already, and you could theoretically take some of that clothing and use it to make a costume for Halloween. But it would just be cool if we actually had some Halloween-themed costumes, like vampires, mummies. You get the idea, right? But unfortunately, another year has come along in Grand Theft Auto Online, and we don't have costumes. But we have the Vigilante. That's awesome. Bear in mind that the Vigilante is a really cool car. And I'm a huge Batman fan, as most of my subscribers know. The problem is, the Vigilante costs, well, $3.7 million. That's just for the car. That doesn't include the amount for the requirements. If you want to customize the Vigilante, if you want to give it a different paint job, or quote-unquote armor, or brakes, or engine upgrades, or even the rockets. In order to do all that, well, you also need the bunker. You need the MOC. And, of course, the vehicle workshop that comes with the MOC. Yeah, these are things that are required. That you kind of need. Kind of, sort of. Which means, technically, the price tag for the Vigilante is a little bit higher than $3.7 million. If you want to customize it and, get the upgrades, including the rockets. Now, from what I hear, the rockets are very OP. I don't want to fire the rockets off in Fort Z because, unfortunately, the military might not take too kindly to me doing that. The problem is, as I showed off in Friday's video, this thing doesn't take much damage. One rocket, one sticky bomb, and she's done. She's gone. She's dead, Jim. Costing you or another player $20,000. And it's unfortunate because I really think that this vehicle, since it's so expensive, since it's supposed to be the Batmobile, you think it would take some damage. You think it would, but no. One sticky bomb, one rocket, it's all over. It's all she wrote. And what's also bullshit is, let's just say, for example, somebody's griefing you with this car, right? And you're tired of being killed by him. You're getting tired of being ran over by him. And you just want to stop, and you decide to lob a sticky bomb at them, or fire a rocket at them, and you blow up their car, and who has to pay for that? You do. So I think that's a little unfair, but unfortunately that's the norm when it comes to a lot of the weaponized vehicles in the game. So let us move on to the Adversary Mode. Condemned. It's outright boring. It is not much fun. And I played it with a few randos. I played it Saturday as well. And I don't admit to be the best gamer ever. I know I'm not. But I just didn't enjoy it. It's boring. It's absolutely freaking boring. You can only play with up to 4 players. It's basically a rotating 3v1. It starts off. And one person's condemned. And you got to prevent yourself from being condemned. It's kind of like a last person standing. Last player standing. And you whittle it down till there's only 1 player left. The problem is the LTSs in the game, especially the user-created ones by the community, are a lot more fun. With the exception of the weather effects and some of the special effects that come with that specific adversary mode. Oh, that's right. Those same effects are also used for Slasher and Lost and Damned, the other 2 adversary modes, like the running around with the fire, you know, on your feet and stuff. Yeah, it's some things that have already been built prior to Condemned. So the consensus seems to be that it's not a very enjoyable adversary mode. Rockstar did add a new transform race for Halloween, Inferno, and once again it uses the Halloween weather effect, which is kind of cool. You know, it's green and stormy, and it's all creepy, and the trees catch on fire. But the race itself, I didn't enjoy it as much. I mean, you start off in paragliders, and they're kind of slow, very slow, and I don't know. I just wish it would have been more intense, you know, more hardcore, more fast-paced. And I mean, there's a point where you get to play as the Beast, but that too. I mean, it's okay, but at the same time, it's kind of boring when it's just you're running from checkpoint to checkpoint as the Beast. So overall, I mean, I wasn't too impressed with the new adversary mode, Condemned. I wasn't impressed with transform races. Well, I mean, transform races, yes. I enjoy transform races, and very much so whenever we finally get the creator for that. That way the creating community can make some really awesome transform races. But Inferno, it could have been better. It could have been more intense. I mean, I think if they would replace the paraglider, or the ultralight, whatever you call it, with the Bestros for it to be more high-speed action, that would have been better. And you get to use the Vigilante during that transform race, but you use it around Paleto Bay, and to be honest, it's not as fun around Paleto Bay. It would be cooler if it was actually like out on the highway, like high speed, or going through tunnels with the Vigilante, which hopefully we'll be able to do when the creator community makes the various new transform races somewhere down the road, whether it's this Tuesday or next Tuesday or somewhere down the road when Rockstar actually drops the creator for transform races. Hopefully they'll do that sooner rather than later. So overall, I feel like Rockstar tries to give us some sort of Halloween weekend, but it always feels like they fall short because of one simple reality. The one thing that we want that they will not do is create some outfits, costumes, because most people cannot afford the $4 million for the Vigilante, or the bunker, or the MOC, or the vehicle workshop, all of which are required, as I mentioned, in order to customize and upgrade the Vigilante. But most players in Grand Theft Auto Online could easily afford new outfits, new costumes, like mummies, or zombies, or vampires, or witches, or wizards, or, you know what I'm saying, just generic Halloween costumes that aren't trademarked, that aren't copyrighted. They could have done. And it reminds me of the interviews that were done with Imran Sarwar over the past week with Game Informer and IGN. I did those videos over the past week. And he even talked about the one team that is dedicated to clothing, to making outfits for this game. And we've had 3 Halloweens now. I don't count 2013 Halloween because that's when the game launched 4 years ago in October. I don't count that Halloween. I will forgive that Halloween. But 2014, 2015, 2016, and now 2017, there have been no Halloween costumes in Grand Theft Auto Online. And I know, like I mentioned already, like I said, I know for a fact I am not the only one that hasn't asked, that hasn't taken the time to email them. I realize that most of the people probably haven't, but some of us have. I know I have, and I know others have too. So it really makes me wonder, like, where does Rockstar really stand on this issue? Is it that they'd rather dedicate resources to making an expensive-ass car like the Vigilante, which I do think is a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I'm having a blast with it, despite its issues. You know, the fact that it does render the rocket Voltic obsolete because it does boost up. The boost up on it does regen faster. And that's something I went in a previous rant, you know, talking about the unsellable content, like the Rocket Voltic. Now more than ever, it would be nice to be able to sell the Rocket Voltic because this is a better vehicle for the kind of fun that we used to have in the Rocket Voltic. You know, plus it has rockets, and it has guns on it, even though the guns kind of suck. And you can, like with the Duke of Death and with the Insurgent, you can knock other vehicles out of the way, which is kind of fun unless you're on the receiving end and you're not expecting it. Then it's not as fun. But the fact that it explodes with one sticky bomb or one rocket is, to be honest, ridiculous. And it makes me wonder, well, what's the point of having the armor anyways on this vehicle? I don't even know what the armor does, if it does anything at all. But the point is, it seems like to me that Rockstar cares more about, you know, making as much money as they can off the Vigilante than making the community happy. Because they could have dedicated time towards making Halloween costumes over the past several years, as I pointed out. The game's been out for 4 years now, launched in 2013, and we've had several Halloween since. You know, Halloween 2014, 15, 16, 17 now. And yet, no Halloween costumes. I know most people probably don't care, but I care, damn it, and this is my rant video, and I can rant about it. The point is, it just seems very apparent that when Rockstar is going to put like one side by side on a chart, and they're going to be like, you know what, team? We're either going to make a $4 million Batmobile that you're going to need the bunker, the MOC, and the vehicle workshop for, or we're going to make a ton of Halloween-themed clothing, which will be thousands of dollars each, but the community will be able to enjoy that. You know, be able to buy the costumes and do more role-playing and having fun with the costumes, as opposed to only a few people being able to afford this, unless you go get a shark card. Well, gee, I wonder which one Rockstar picked.